Good day. My name is Lance Fourie. I work out of the South Africa Boksburg office. I'm a Precision Ag Territory Customer Support Manager and also instructor. Today I'm visiting Francois here at his farm. We're going to talk a little bit about some of the technologies that's available from John Deere that you can actually access via your mobile device. Francois, thanks for having me here. If I may ask you a question, what is the type of machines that you use on your farm, and what is maybe the type of product that you produce on the farm or plant?
Yes, Lance, thank you for your time. And we are maize farmers. We're currently busy with the harvesting season, so yeah, we need some information on how to use the app that you have, the John Deere Link app, to be able to monitor our combines and to see where we can use this app better and how to optimize the use of it.
So one of the apps that I actually want to show you is one of our Go Harvest apps. So normally before pre-season, as we call it, before you put your combine into the field, this is an app that you can actually use to set up your combine. So once you go into the app itself and you open it up, you can choose the different machines or the different models that's available. And then of course you can do all the pre-checks on your machine before you put it in the field. And then even once you've done your first pass, the app will ask you some questions of how did the machine perform on that first pass. And then once you answer those questions, it will advise you, or it will give you suggestions. Let me rather say that, what you can set maybe to optimize your machine a bit better to get the best out of it. Okay, so as you can see, once we enter the app, once you click on one of the highlighted points there on the machine itself, it will open you up and show you exactly where are some of the adjustments and where you can do them. So once we go, and I mean, that, as I said, you know, there's many of these information available out there. So even if you go inside to see inside your cab what you can set up there, it will advise you or give you recommended settings that you can set up. Also, once you've done your first pass, you can go and have a look at grain losses. It will give you a good explanation of how to set up your combine. And then of course, once you go into performance, it will ask you some questions and it will tell you what you can adjust or maybe what you can do differently, and you can go through that. So the main thing for this basically is, once you have run through this, is to get your combine to the best operating for the field.
Yes, Lance, I just want to find out your all the setting up that you need to do in the combine. Do you do it in the combine, or can you do some setups on the app and then transfer it to the combine? How does that work?
Very good question. Yeah, so basically the app is to guide you. So even if you're not at the field, at least when you have your farm manager there, or maybe even the operator, the app is there to guide him to set it up physically on the machine itself. So all those settings are more physical settings that's been done. This is basically just to assist whoever is going to need to set up the combine pre-season. After the harvest season, the combine gets clean, it gets stored away. I mean, with time, things do deteriorate and things like that. So it's just to make sure that all the belts are in good working order, all the adjustments is good.
So this app is actually going to be a very good management tool for me.
Perfect.
As the farmer, to manage my harvesting and farming operations and so on.
Now, for us, this app is offline. You don't need any internet for it. You don't need any data for it. So it's a little booklet that you have available to you to help you to guide you through to do that major settings before you use your combine or put it into the field to do your first pass. Because once you've done your first pass, you'll actually have a look and see at the outcome and see what other necessary final adjustments needs to be done. Does that answer your question on that one?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Also nice on the Go Harvest app, as you can see, once you click on the menu there, you have your outside, inside, your seed losses. So there's quite a lot of features. You can see the model that we are working with. You can change it there. You even have a little notebook. So that will be stored on your phone because it belongs to you. It's your app. So any notes that you make. So let's say, for instance, you go around the combine, you maybe find one of the belts are worn. You can make a note, and then later on you can actually go and contact your dealer. Once the JD parts becomes available, you can actually start ordering your parts remotely from your phone to the dealer. Place your order and they will come and deliver it for you. So it's a very powerful app that John Deere develops. Okay, so that's just a little bit about the Go Harvest app. As I said, these apps are available from the Google Play Store and also available on Android and Apple phones. Okay, so what we just need to keep in mind, always make sure when you the devices, same as our machines. John Deere do have a lot of technology, but we always need to make sure that the machines are compatible with the technology that's out there. And that is, of course, where your local dealer will come into in advisement. So you will speak to them and say, right, this is what I'm looking at. What can you advise me to do further, and so on. Okay, so Francois, when I walked into your office, I saw you got a big screen, so I can see that you are using the operation center. So I'm sure you're very familiar with it by now. So one of the apps that John Deere developed was My Operations. It's not just for combines, it's for your whole fleet that are connected to your operation center. But today I just want to concentrate a little bit more on the combines, since it's harvesting season and you are using it. So when we have a look at My Operations app, and this is a new added feature that they've actually introduced into the app itself. So when we go into the app, you'll of course log on with your secure username and password, so nobody's got access to your data. And then the machines that is loaded into the operation center, for instance, you can see on the map there, I can actually zoom in a little bit there. You can actually see your two combines, where they are standing in the fields or where they are in the area. So let's say, for instance, I want to get some information out of one of my combines. I can click on the combine. It will open up this little box. And this is also a benefit for dealers, because if you see that little arrow that we have on there, so let's say a dealer needs to get out to your farm, but he's never been there, maybe it's a new technician, he can actually just click on that little arrow and it will open up the Google Maps, and it will give him directions and navigate him exactly to where the machine is standing. So that's a wonderful feature they got there. We also have our settings. So once we click on there, there's some features that if you want it on or off, you can go and set it there. So I'm just going to close that one. So now we've clicked on the specific combine you got in the field. So once of course, yes, what I forgot is also you got flags. So let's say, for instance, you are working with your machines, you actually got that function also on your displays, and you are working in an area and you maybe discover there's a patch of weed that you need to spray, you can actually flag it. And because you are using the operation center and the technology that's in the machines, you can actually upload that data to your operation center. And when you open it up, when you scroll up to that flag, it will give you the coordinates of where that flag is that you selected in the field. And that will just make it much easier to go and identify if you have to take, let's say, you use your gator, you go out there just to go and analyze more what is going on there. Okay, so very similar with the My Operation apps, or My Operation app. So we got our combine there. We can also, while we are working it, we can use the app function or the flag function to identify areas that we've picked up in the field where anything, there might be a rock lying there or whatever the case may be. Then we also have this little menu here that will give you the whole fleet of vehicles and machines that you have in your operation center. Okay, so as I said today, and if you have had flags, even remotely, you can sit there in Mauritius having your martini there on the beach, and if there was any flags, it will come up here. And what we normally do is when you allocate a flag into an area, you will give it a name. Let's say rock, pond, weed, whatever the case may be. So then you can be in contact with the farm manager and says, I see you've identified some weed in the field. What's the suggestion? What are we going to spray there? How are we going to try to get rid of it? So even not even being on your farm, you can still manage your farm. And this is what all these apps are about, and some of these features that's available. Okay, so another feature I want to show you on the combine. So if we scroll up, You also have your directions. So now you can, if you want to go and see where your machine is, you can click on directions. It will take you there, of course. And then there's another feature that's called remote display access, or RDA as we call it. So let's say, for instance, your operator contacts you and says he's seeing something on the display that he's never seen before. You may be in a very important meeting or something. You can maybe step out. You can click the RDA button, and that what the operator is seeing on the display, you'll be able to see.
And for sure, that's a important aspect of this app, because you're not always in the field, and you can remotely go into your screen and see what's wrong.
Perfect, yeah, and that is, as I said, and that's also one of the features that they've added into this, the mobile app for My Operations. And as you just mentioned, now, I mean, you can guide your operator. Okay, let's move on this one. So we can see there, if we got our performance. So here you can also go the date that we're on, and you can also go backwards in time to actually going to have a look and see what the performance was. What was the fuel usage, yes, how many hours the machine was idling, how many hours it was working, and all those type of things. Then you also have your settings, and this is one of the nice features that I appreciate of this app. So once the machine is busy harvesting in the field, this is when you can use the setting app. Now, let's say, for instance, I'm just going to go one step back. I just want to get see if we got any fields here. Okay, you see, I'm just going to go into my fields just to show you. So I'm going to click on that field there. So it will open the field up. I can see dry yield. It gives me corn harvest, and I'm going to click it again, and it should actually pop up a yield map for me. So before we go to the setting side of remotely adjusting it, you can go into the field where the combine is working. You can actually have a look at your yields. When you swipe this button down, you can actually see the legend that you've set up. And there you can see, okay, I can see 3.5 to 4.7 tons per hectare, 4.7, and this is now on dry yield. So you can also change it to wet yield. It's up to you. And then you can look at some areas that you maybe see, okay, the combine is not performing the way you want it to perform. Or if conditions start changing in the field, maybe you pick it up. And let's say you got a lesser experienced operator, he will contact you and says, this combine is not performing, it's not staying within that benchmark that you've set. And this is where we will go then to our settings. So now we will go there, and as I said, once we go to our settings, and this is where that comes into play. So you have a visual of what's happening in the field. Maybe the operator contacts you and saying, this is the benchmark that you've set. It's not within that. You can actually go there. Now the machine needs to be moving in the field. Then you can go and adjust your concave clearances. You can go and adjust your rotor speed. You can adjust your fan speed, your chaffer, and your sift clearances to try and get it into that happy medium for your combine to perform optimally. And then, of course, I think one of the last things I just want to quickly show you, you got your analyzer. And this is very similar if you have a look at your operations center, where you got your field analyzer, where you can actually put year-to-year date next to each other to analyze it. So you can have a look in Analyzer for that specific machine, your application that you have. You got all your fields that you work. You can actually go and click on one of the fields. It will tell you 3.76 hectares and also your liters per hectares that you've used there. So there's quite a lot of information that you can take out of that to assist you to make better decisions. You got your products that you've used, and then of course you got your work data that you can plug. And what's nice of this, the app also, you see you got a little upload. You can actually export that data into a PDF or a CSV, which is an Excel file. And you can go and analyze it later on if needed. Or, as with the Operations Center, you can also access for your trusted advisors, your third-party advisors, and they will also have access to some of these data that you will allow them to see. So if they can see anything from their side, they can also assist to advise you where to make some settings and changes.
Lance, so if I look at these apps of yours, of John Deere, where can a farmer then goes and if he wanted to dig into the app and learn some more about the app and want to really find out what all the functionalities of this app is, where can he go to? Is there a kind of a manual that he can go to? Or?
Excellent question, Francis. So if you see your little menu button that you got in the corner there it will give you a list of information. So there you can, your settings, you can actually go and change organizations if you have more than one, your notification preferences, and the notification preferences is one. So if your combine picks up any errors or anything, it will be sent to you. So you can also go and change how you want to receive that notifications and what type of notifications you want to see. And then you got your frequently asked questions. So if you got a specific question about the app, you can click on that. It will open a page. You type your question, you send it through, and John Deere will answer you on that. Any other questions on that that you may have?
It's been very helpful, Lance, and yeah, it's just a matter of going into the app and use it and play with it and see what the functionalities are.
Yeah, and as you saw, I mean, it's it's not something that it's not too difficult to understand it.
Okay, Lance, so you told me that through the RDA system you can change some settings on the app, and then it communicates it through to the combine, and they can actually see it on their screen there. Can you show me how to do that?
Yes. So I'm going to ask you to push the buttons there, just for you also to get familiar, to familiarize yourself with the phone. So we'll first do the RDA session so you can see the screen. And then we're going to go out, and then we're going to go to the settings, and we'll change, let's say, the speed of the rotor, just to show you. So just remember, when we do the settings, the combine needs to be in the field, it needs to be working. So click on the map for me, your map button, and choose the combine that you want to log into the RDA. So you need to find it on your display. I think it's a little bit this way. Okay, well, let's click on it and we can see now. It will tell us, yes, so it's into. Okay, so once we go in there, just slide up on that little arrow there. Can you see there's a little button that says RDA? So when you click that, select it, and it should take, depending on the bandwidth and the internet speed, it will send a call to the machine, and then what will happen is very similar like you'll see on your big screen or even on your laptop. You'll also see the display screen pop up, and this is where you will be able to advise the operator if needed, if there's maybe an error or maybe a setting that needs to be changed. So Francois, as you can see now, we're just going to do an adjustment just for the demo purposes. So once it goes green there, you know that you connected, so you can click on adjust settings. And then I think let's just set the fan speed. I see it's on 1080 now. Let's just take it up to 1100. So you can just add it there, and then you send the changes. So now what will happen is, once this changes will be sent to the combine, the operator will actually get a message on the display notifying that changes has been made, and he will accept it. And once it's accepted, you can see there it says waiting for operator to accept. Once you accept, you will actually see it will go back to the other screen and the changes has been made. And then you can just re-monitor. Can you see you got a little green tick? So they've accepted the changes there. Yeah, so and that's as simple as that. To do some remote settings on your combines while it's harvesting. So Francois, I hope you enjoyed the session we had, and I hope it benefited you. And what I always say, any questions, please reach out to your local dealers. They're always there to support you. And I also want to thank you from my side and John Deere side for having us here.
Thanks, Lance.
Thank you very much.